technicalities, that's one of the key things, isn't it? Understanding your equipment and how it works is something you just have to learn. In the same way as you have to learn to drive a car before you can fully enjoy the process of driving. The technical aspects of the work that I do, particularly when I'm trying to capture movement, is I like something called a panning shot. This is when the background and some of the object that you're looking at appears to be blurred in the back, literally blurred in the background. Everything in the background is moving to the left or the right, depending on how you perceive that. But the focus of your camera lens is right on the middle of the subject. And if it's a human, it has to be their head, or a predator animal, their head, because that doesn't move, even though the rest of their body is going up and down like in frantic mode. If you watch wildlife films and you watch a cheetah running, its head is absolutely still while the body's going like this, because it needs to keep both eyes focused on the prey, because that's how parallax works, in order for it to be able to hone in, engage distance and pace in order to get its kill. So this particular shot is impala jumping. Now, impala are very skittish creatures. They've got big ears. They know where you are before you've even woken up in the morning. And if you're out trying to photograph them in the wilds of an African bush, you need to find them in a group, because they don't tend to wander about for very long by themselves. Even if you drive up in a car, they'll just run off, They're very happy being themselves. And I was working with one of the rangers in a park called Madikwe on the Botswana border. And I said, listen, a challenge I want to be able to get some of these impala coming past me. And he said, look, as long as I've been doing this, you normally see just the rear end of them, because they can't, there's nowhere, they're not going to come close to you enough for you to be able to do that. But actually, he said, there is a water hole where there's only one way in and one way out. And if we were in the right position, understanding when they're going to come out, and they did eventually run, then you might have a chance. Now, the chance of being able to get an impala, which runs at the best part of 40 kilometers per hour when it's jumping, in focus as it's moving across the background at a really slow shutter speed, 1/40th of 1 second, you have to kiss a lot of frogs, or in this case, impala. The wrangler said they tend to have their evening drink at around about 4:30 to 5 o'clock. So there would be maybe 50 or 60 of them there. And if we were to get there by 3 o'clock and we just stayed still, they would come in from various different areas. But when they exited, they would come straight past us, because they all had to funnel in, so to speak. So he was there with his binoculars. We were waiting in the truck. And sure enough, groups of them started to congregate around about 4:30 to 4:45, until they were all taking their fill at the waterhole, heads constantly up, looking for danger, looking for the lion, looking for the hyena. And then, as luck has it, a vehicle on the other side of the watering hole comes up for the photo opportunity for its group of visitors. And as they get out, somebody slams the door, and the impala go boom, like that. And they are coming at us, 30 or 40 of them at a time, and my camera's up, it's in front of my eyes, I'm ready to go with this thing, and all I can do is try and get the center of my lens onto the head of one of them. And I did, but I had to do it on burst. I had to take 3 or 4 frames per second. And sure enough, as they shot past, I swiveled the camera to keep my camera lens moving alongside their head. So, and they were probably 20 feet away. It was a magical experience. It was over as fast as it started. And literally 3 or 4 seconds, they were all gone. But in that, there's the one image, and that's the one that's called Impala Jump.